everyone, welcome back to my channel. It's Jessica, and today I have my update for life. I haven't posted on here, it's been a little bit, and I just wanted to update before I forget things because I'm very forgetful lately. I did finally go to the cardiologist. I had my POTS test, and it was like a horrible experience. The physician's assistant did my test, and he did not follow protocol. And the cardiologist himself, when I questioned it, was very dismissive and just not a very good experience. So I didn't have any answers. I was just told, no, you don't have it. That's it. That's basically it. But, you know, we can do another EKG, which they had already done one. They want to do an ultrasound of my heart and this, that, and everything else. They wanted me to be strapped to a monitor and put on a treadmill, which, like, I was having trouble just walking around in my house without feeling like I was going to pass out. I certainly did not want to get on a treadmill. So I was like, thanks, but no thanks. So I went and I talked to my regular primary care physician, and my daughter's in here, and I explained everything that happened. Actually, I talked to my rheumatologist first, but because I was still having problems, I was falling, not falling down, but I was like almost passing out frequently, heart palpitations, just like I was a mess, an absolute mess, almost to the point where I was feeling like I was hallucinating some days. It was bad. And I was doing all the right things. I was eating keto, like very extremely low carb. I was still having problems like with my hands and my wrists, and just, it felt like I had inflammation everywhere, but I wasn't inflamed. I was actually losing weight, so I had even less water retention than, you know, I used to have. And I just, like, everything just hurt. I was a mess. My rheumatologist is trying to help as much as she can, but rheumatologically there was nothing additional wrong. And she was like suggesting this, that, and everything else. And she's like, go talk to your primary care physician, explain what happened with the POTS tests, see if they can get you another recommendation. Just, you know, I needed to see what was going on with me. Also, in my bathroom, which is right over here, I had discovered that I hadn't been cleaning quite as well as I used to because, you know, after the car accident, everything hurt. I wasn't as thorough. Found mold in my bathroom, and you can see my bed is right here, and I sleep on this side of the bed, and my head is like 2 feet away from the bathroom door. So, you know, we were thinking it was potential mold exposure, and I've since got it cleaned up. I've used all the stuff and the things to get it cleaned up, and you know, spraying to make sure that you know, we keep it at bay, because I have an older home and I don't have an exhaust fan in my bathroom. It's just, that's the way it is. I do have a dehumidifier set up in there, but you know, so I was concerned with that. Rheumatologist said, go to the primary care physician, tell them about the POTS test, tell them about the you know, the potential mold exposure, not potential, but it was. And I don't know if it was like the really bad kind or not, but it was easy to get it cleaned up. And it may or may not have been a factor. I don't know. So I'm still waiting for all of my labs on that. And thankfully, I have doctors that actually listen to me, which is why I was really angry at the cardiologist, because he wasn't my normal doctor. But that's just who I went to go see. That's who I got a referral for, so that's where I went. My other doctors are really cool, so I was very appreciative of that. So my primary care physician sent me to get tons of blood work done, and the next day, we're talking just over 24 hours after I had my blood taken, she calls me and leaves me a voicemail and tells me that my vitamin D levels are extremely high, like extremely high. Now, many moons ago, we're talking 15 plus years ago, I started taking vitamin D supplements at the recommendation of an old doctor, and at the time I I needed to be on it. And then, I didn't see that doctor for a while because he left the practice, whatever. And so I had just been taking it. Like, all that time I've been taking vitamin D, not a problem. And I've noticed it's been a little over a year. Like, my fibromyalgia symptoms seem to be getting worse, and having issues, certain almost neurological issues that tend to be a fibromyalgia related thing, and just things kept getting worse and worse and worse and worse, and it's frustrating. I tried all of the fibro meds. I failed those, even though they failed me, as some people have pointed out. And then my doctor tells me that I have, extremely high vitamin D, which is not normal. Most people are extremely low. I had 126 is what they consider vitamin D toxicity or hypercalcemia, and I was at 120. Extremely, extremely high. I was like borderline in the toxic level. And I went and I'm like, okay, let's go see what all this means. And lo and behold, a lot of the symptoms that I was having are from hypercalcemia, vitamin D toxicity. There's a lot of things that fall under that same umbrella. I still don't know enough about it. I'm waiting for the rest of my labs from my doctor, and once I get those, she'll call me and she'll talk to me about all the stuff and things. She's amazing like that. I can ask all the questions, and she explains it so that I can understand it. So I don't have those labs back yet, but the fact that my vitamin D level was so high, it was a little concerning. So I stopped taking vitamin D, calcium, multivitamins, anything that has calcium or vitamin D in it, which would cause problems. I stopped taking it. Less than 24 hours later, I already started to feel better. The half-life, or the amount of time it takes to have medicines work their way out of your system, can be like a month or two for vitamin D, but missing doses, I already feel better. Like, this is crazy to me. I haven't been able to do this in months. Like, be able to move my hands without excruciating pain. I can lift my shoulders again. Still have a little pain in there, but if I keep going the way I've been going since I stopped taking those specific supplements, I feel like I'm going to be like a whole new woman. Like, I have energy. I just feel so much better. I did get my infusion on Thursday, so I had my blood work with my regular primary care physician on Tuesday, and I had my infusion on Thursday. So between the two of those, I'm feeling good. Like, I still hurt. I mean, I'm not going to be up dancing a jig or doing anything like that, but I feel so much better. Better than I felt in a very long time, and I'm so thankful for that. But my primary care physician, I told her what happened with the cardiologist and the POTS test. She did a POTS test for me because she's like, she has heard other cardiologists do stuff like that with patients. And I guess because the cardiologist, that's not really their area of expertise, but because it is somewhat heart related, blood pressure related, heart rate related, all of that, most patients that they suspect have POTS end up going to a cardiologist, but that's not really their thing. So she had it done in her office. She does not believe that I have POTS, and I'm glad. I don't want to have it, but her and my rheumatologist both do believe I have some form of, and I hopefully don't mispronounce this, some form of dysautonomia or a dysautonomic, I'm not sure how you pronounce that, issue, because of all the neurological issues that I've been having randomly here or there. So that is still a big question mark, but we think we've rolled out POTS, but there's multiple different types of things that would kind of fall under POTS. There's different types of POTS, but I don't know if that really applies to me, if it was just a symptom of having such high vitamin D in my system, which oddly enough, I just started, researching because I like to research. I find it fascinating and it's my health. I need to be my own best advocate, so I have to look these things up. I have to research. I need to know what's going on because, some of this stuff can be passed down to my children. I want them to be aware of what's going on. So it turns out the infusion that I'm on, which is Remicade, I don't remember what the generic is of that, because it works on inflammation in your body, especially like with me, it's in my spine, but it works in your entire digestive tract. A lot of people that have like Crohn's, ulcerative colitis, and other like digestive issues that in that vein, like IBD, those kind of things, are also on Remicade. And once you get your body under control with your inflammation, especially in your digestive tract, your body actually absorbs nutrients significantly better. So we are thinking it is very possible that when I was told to take vitamin D, I really needed it. I didn't have enough in my system, but as my body has gotten less and less inflammation through diet, exercise, infusions, and just general overall health, that my body is now absorbing nutrition and nutrients better than it ever did before. And that is probably why I ended up with high vitamin D levels. Now, here's the thing. There's a lot of doctors that deal with autoimmune and autoinflammatory diseases that put people on a very high vitamin D protocol, like extremely high vitamin D protocol. But I was not put on that because of my autoimmune diseases. I was just put on it because I was deficient in vitamin D way back in the day. Apparently, when someone is put on high vitamin D for autoimmune, autoinflammatory, they're also put on things like magnesium, which I take because I drink electrolyte water now all the time. Plus, I take magnesium at night. That has helped me a lot. But apparently, you also have to be put on a specific form of vitamin K2, which I was not on. And I am thinking that might be the difference with my vitamin D levels. I did not have the vitamin K2 to work with the vitamin D, because I guess vitamin D can turn to calcium in your body. Vitamin K2, if I'm understanding this correctly, and I know there's some medical people that watch me on this, the vitamin K2 will take the calcium and the vitamin D that is turned into calcium that is in your bloodstream, but it'll actually put it where it's supposed to. It's like a regulator, tells the calcium where to go, which is like your bones and stuff like that. If you have too much vitamin D without vitamin K, that it turns to like extra calcium in your blood, which can go into your muscles, your tendons, your arteries, and it can calcify and cause neurological issues. It could actually cause like some of your soft tissue to turn to bone, which I already have a high risk of that because I have ankylosing spondylitis, which can spontaneously fuse my spine. So we definitely don't want that. So I'm going to be talking to my doctors more and more about like the vitamin D, the K2, and that kind of stuff, because I want to make sure I'm doing the right things the right way and I'm not causing further problems for my body. Because, I don't wish that pain that I've had for the last year that has progressively gotten worse. I don't want it ever again. And if I can learn enough about it, that if my kids ever have to deal with something like this, they know what's going on, because they're made up of half of my genetics. So there is a possibility they could be dealing with this at some point way in the future. My daughter, thankfully, is learning a little bit along with me, and her nutrition has improved. It's tough with kids because kids want to have all the good, delicious things that might not necessarily be good for them, but she pays attention. She still enjoys her food, but she is much more selective now on what she eats, knowing what I have gone through and what I'm still going through and what she could potentially have to deal with in the future. So we're making adjustments. Things are getting better. I'm excited. I can move. I know it seems like such a silly little thing, but I can't even express to you how much physical pain I have been in for so long, like in the last year, and has just gotten so much worse that there are days I was just like, I can't do this anymore. But you know what? I just get through it, and I'm so glad. I'm so glad for my doctor. So if you're having issues, please talk to your doctors. I know that I've gotten a lot of help from people on here just listening to what's going on with me, offering suggestions for things to talk with my doctor about. And I'm very glad that, like I said, I have very good doctors for some things. So just be your own best advocate. That's the only thing I can suggest. And just be very, very careful about supplements that you take. I was told to take vitamin D, like I said, a long time ago. Didn't know any different. If something doesn't feel right, please talk to your doctors and pursue it till you get some answers. Because I know I have ankylosing spondylitis. I know I have fibromyalgia, but a lot of the symptoms that I have had easily since my accident in September. I mean, I had a little bit before then, but it got so much worse then. I really think it was a lot to do with the vitamin D and being on a supplement that I no longer needed to be on just because those tests weren't run, because we didn't know. We didn't know. So just be very diligent with what you take. Talk to your doctors and advocate for yourself. That's all I can suggest. I'm going to keep trying to do that for myself, and I will continue to update as I find things out. Hopefully within the next few days to a week, I will hear some more about my labs with like the mold testing and all of the other stuff in my blood work. I know there were some things that came up a little bit high, which isn't uncommon for people that have autoimmune issues. Like my white blood cell counts were slightly elevated. My BUN, creatinine, I think they were a little elevated, which is not uncommon for people that are on a keto or carnivore diet. So a lot of those things were to be expected, and they were just barely high. So, we're not concerned about those, but we are watching those. So, I'm just going to keep you updated as I learn things. And again, like I said, I'm journaling this for myself, for anyone else that may need to hear what's going on with me, might help them figure out what's going on for them, but really it's for my kids too. So that is everything for this crazy update. Hopefully I'll have some more for you soon, but I am feeling so much better, and I'm hoping that I will continue to feel better as the infusion kicks in, because usually a week or two before it really is at its full strength. And I am filming this on, what's today, Saturday? I just had it on Thursday, so it's going to get better over the next few days, I'm sure, and we'll figure it out. All right, until I see you on my next video, have a beautiful and blessed day.